Ooh. Hey. Welcome, clobberers and clobberettes all across the universe, to Clobberin Times Wildcard Wednesday night. Hey, my good friends and buddies. Good to see you who are here, and I hope more of our friends will show up later. We'll see. You know what? I guess tonight's Orville night. I almost forgot. And 5 weeks ago, if you'd told me there would be a time, I would forget out of apathy and just being so disenfranchised with this thing and disenchanted with this thing. Well, I can't even talk. Let me put up just so I can remind myself to watch the stupid thing later, since I'm gonna have to review it. I better pull up the countdown. I'm not gonna use it much, but I'll pull it up there so it's there. Wow, that it should come to this. I don't even care. Wow. What can you do? Well, I tell you what. What I can do is, before I do my show notes, I'll just say hello to our friends over here already, of course. Larry, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. Thanks for being here. The Comic Relief Crusader, J-Man Buddy. Boy, have I got things to tell you. I got an announcement sort of to make. Anyway, it's not a big deal to me, but it's pertinent to what I told everyone about. Great Chris Persia, master of the Canadian wrench. Hey. Good to see you there, buddy. Wagner, hey, buddy. Good to see you. Lance about man. Hey, buddy. What's up, Fanty? The master of all of this bronze and wrenchy, the great bronze wrencher himself, Eric K. What's up, brother? I hope you're feeling well. Oops, I keep missing things up here. Whom else do we have? Hang on, my damn chat skipped on me. Hungry for proper inking like Wrightson's, as in the great Hungry Boy. What's up, buddy? Good to see you, Hungry Boy. I hope you're doing well, man. It always does my heart good to see you pop in, my friend. Let's see here. I think I may have got everybody. Dark Shadow Logan, what's up, man? The Cabal. D. Bud Martin, now the Cabal's official. What is up, my good friend, D. Bud Man of Iron? All right. Yeah, there's a few of us here. Not much of us here today, but I don't care. It's just everyone who counts. All the many other wonderful friends, and maybe they'll show up later as well. I hope so. So let me do some show notes. Why not? It's just Wildcard Wednesday night anyway. But Wildcard, the purpose of that, Wesley, is just to basically hang around with you guys and do it kind of open, but once in a while use it for a topic, and I'm going to use it for a topic next week. But first, I'll announce that this coming Saturday night, tomorrow night's the Clubhouse, by the way. Don't forget that. So we'll plug that even more. Tomorrow night, Clubby's Clubhouse with the wonderful Raquel and our great buddy Mark D with the C, who was out on an away mission. I think he'll be back. But then Saturday night, Star Trek number 80, beginning the the fourth leg of our ongoing mission to review all of real Star Trek 66 to 05. Have no substitutes, folks. We begin with Star Trek Deep Space Nine. We will have 4 episodes, including the pilot, The Emissary, for you on that wonderful night. And I hope we get a big turnout. I hope I hope everyone's excited about getting on to Deep Space Nine. It should be a fantastic ride. It'll take probably close to as long as it took us for TNG. So. Wow, that's some mental gymnastics on your part there, Phantom. I mean, you say, I think the extremes in the Orville were intentionally that they can emphasize the extremes on all sides for making moves to the center if everyone has started in the middle. Look, even if that's the case, I don't think the show's been any good either. I mean, other than the first episode, those episodes, they weren't just torn to pieces by their propaganda and rhetoric. I think when you sacrifice what you're doing for agenda, it hurts the story, and I have not enjoyed the show outside of that first episode. In the second one, it was okay, but I have not enjoyed the show. So there are a lot of things with the characters they're doing I don't like. I mean, believe me, my gripe. Look, I put up with political shit in my entertainment all of my life. Hollywood's been doing this for 60, 70 years. They did it well. And so much so that there could have been many occasions where there have been messages in some TV show, some movie, what have you, that I didn't agree with, and I still liked the movie, film, comic, whatever it was. So they did it in a bad way. So whatever they go back to, buddy, Fandy. I mean, look, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not sure you might be right, but I haven't liked it. I haven't had a good time, because usually if I'd really enjoyed those episodes, I would have said, no, this kind of crap sucked, but I still like that. I would have bitched about what there was to bitch about, and I still would have said this was really good, because I've done that before, and that's not what happened here. And because the past couple of episodes have not been particularly political, and I haven't liked them. I'm talking about, in general, episode 4 and 5 are the ones I thought sacrificed on the altar of agenda. The other ones I just didn't think were very good, and I had a lot of problems with. A lot of people are loving them. Look, most people are very happy with the show right now. Most fans are very happy with the show. Well, you can think when you say all of us become hypersensitive, you can speak for yourself there, dude, because I've been watching. I mean, I know we're in the same ballpark age range, but I'm not hypersensitive to it. I'm sensitive to it, not hypersensitive, because I excuse it all the time, even when I don't like it, when it doesn't ruin the story in the episode. So you're absolutely right. There are a lot of people who are hypersensitive to it. I won't disagree with that. I'm not one of them. And if it seems like that, it's just, well, I mean, I can't blame you. You don't know me. You're not inside my head. You don't know me that well. And I've tried to communicate myself as best I can, but people are always going to make their own conclusions about the thing I said or I say. And they've done that. When I've been on other shows talking about this, I've been ridiculed in the chats from people who are visiting my intentions and drawing conclusions about things that I didn't say. They were projecting. So, but I know what I believe, and I know what I'm saying. They don't have to. And I understand, look, they can't read minds. So they can visit intentions all they want. But I know where I'm coming from and where I stand on that. And again, I'm not hypersensitive to it. I am sensitive to it. And I do agree with you that there are people who are hypersensitive to it. But I've been observing this stuff because I'm not the political junkie I once was, but I used to be a big time political junkie outside of an entertainment junkie. And it used to be something that I followed almost with the veracity that I've followed, comics and geek stuff. And I know when I see agenda in something, when it's there, I know what I'm seeing. When I'm seeing it, I know when it's not there and people are just projecting it. And sometimes I still like I said, sometimes I still like the show or movie or whatever, even when I can see the agenda in there. That's not what happened here with the Orville. People are going to it'll make them comfortable to say that. I agree with you, Jay, man. That episode was garbage. But anyway, let me get on with the show notes. To hell with that. It was my fault for derailing. No one else's fault but mine. Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Saturday night. Can't wait to start with that. Then Monday night, Moxie Comics Talk. We are back with another Clobby's Classic Comics review. The great Mark D with the C and I will review the Marvel graphic novel, The Big Change, The Hulk and the Thing. And it should be noted that a week from that Monday, the great J-Man and I think that's the first, buddy, you can correct me if I'm wrong, J-Man, we will review Batman number 321. Correct me if I got that wrong, J-Man, if I got the day wrong. But the announcement is, last week, I put a Blake 7 poll up, everybody. The Blake 7 roundtable will happen. It's going to be sometime in August. Cool, J-Man. It's going to be sometime in August. Maybe toward the back half of August. I'm still not sure how to coordinate it with all the people that I want to be a part of it. I don't want to leave anyone out, but you can only have 10 people at a time. But, it'll probably have to be a nighttime. It can't be. I don't think I can do a Global Geek Gang of it because a lot of people are just not off in the daytime anymore. But it will happen. But before that, I have another Blake 7 event And I was going to do it something tonight, but it was nowhere near ready. And I decided I was just going to flop it out there, and I decided I wanted to do it. I wanted to do it big, or at least I wanted to be ready. But we see that Crow not saying here. Yeah, well, I just don't agree with your interpretation of that episode, Phantom Outsider. Not at all. I mean, if you can't see that was an Orange Man Bad episode, I can't help you. But anyway, I'm not going there anymore. I'm not talking about it anymore. But that's clearly what was going on. Look at Seth's Twitter's page as Exhibit A. And that's all I can really go into with that. Because, Dave G. Sound, what's up, buddy? Well, here's the announcement. A week from tonight, it's going to take me, I hope I can get this ready. I am going to do it. Finally going to do it. I have ranked and rated all. I'm going to count down them all. Episodes of Blake 7. That's right. 52 on down. I'm going to count them down in rank, rating, and, in order, the way I see it anyway, with my own Clobby opinion. We're always good, Fandy, man. We argue a lot, but we love you here, man. And Avon lives indeed. I'm going to do it. I'm going to decide for everyone which are the best episodes. I'm going to make it. I'll do it quickly, I hope, Hungry Boy. And I'm also going to rate them. So an episode a week for a year would be interesting, Gwagnar, but I can't wait that long. That's right, Phantom. 52, from worst to first, if you will. Although there aren't too many episodes I thoroughly dislike of Blake 7. You can't say that about Star Trek or even Doctor Who. Even classic Doctor Who, there's an episode or two I don't like. Or I dislike even. I can't, the episode I have at the bottom is maybe like the bottom 2 or 3 episodes I don't like very much. Hey, Koala Jeebus. My Dick's Iron Man and Hulkbuster came in. I'm picking up tomorrow. Oh, cool. I don't know what that is, but cool. Yeah, Dave G, look, there are going to be some at right down toward that low rung that I don't have. But just what the scale is going to be on a scale from 1 to 7. Obviously, because it's Blake 7, 1 star to 7 stars. And needless to say, one thing I can tell you is that just give you, there are not too many really, really lowly rated episodes. There are, of course, some. I mean, there's a handful of 1s and 1.5s and some 2s and 2.5s. Once you get into the 3 range and the 4 range, they're not bad. That's not really bad at all. And I got a lot of 7 pluses and 7s, and a lot of 6 and 1, 6 and 1, 6 and 1/4, 6 and 1/4, and 6.5s and 6s and 5. So I try to be fair. As much as I love the show, I try to score them fairly. Max Redstone, what's up, buddy? And so, yeah, this is going to be a week from tonight. Good to see you there, Max. Yeah, Max, I wanted to do it right. It's going to take a lot of preparation to get what I want to do for this show. So, yeah, the ranking episode, I will do it. It'll be a week from tonight, looks like, if I can get it ready. And can't wait. So I will decide. J-Man says, I think if I had seen B7 before Star Trek, I may have liked B7 more than Star Trek. It's so weird to think that, but it's true. I don't know. I guess, I even I, who saw Blake 7 originally in the mid 80s, saw it after I saw Star Trek. So I don't know. No, Max, I have the spreadsheet prepared, but I want to have pictures prepared. Oh, I've had them rated for a good while now, for several months. rated. Though even when I was making, when I was getting ready for this, I shuffled a couple and changed a couple of ratings. Wow, hungry boy. I'm shocked. I'm shocked. I prefer B7 to Trek, and I saw Trek first. See, Blake 7 is in my top 5 all-time favorite shows, but nothing tops original series of Trek for me. But I do love it. Because see, here's the thing about Blake 7. When I really think long and hard about it, and about myself in relation to the show, there's no real logical way why I should love Blake 7 as much as I do. As far as what I mean by that is how I know myself. And I sometimes even question myself on it or wonder what's wrong with me. Well, we all know what's wrong with me. I'm an idiot. But beside that, I'm a dumbass, and a geek. But beside that, it's downbeat. It's Orwellian. It's depressing. It's not really that uplifting. In fact, it's like I said, it's a downer. Blake 7's a downer. It doesn't have all the hope and all the aspirations of Star Trek. It doesn't fill you with it's not a feel good show at all, and yet it is because I love the characters so much. But since I do prefer, I like some dystopian things here and there if they're good. But my favorite stuff, my favorite sort of fiction is heroic fiction because I grew up loving comic books so much and superheroes so much that my favorite things, my go-to default favorite form of entertainment is superheroes and the heroes on Star Trek, heroic fiction, the heroes on old television like Paladin and James West and hey, Josh Randall even, and Alias Smith and Jones, $6 Million Man, and the heroes of the original Battlestar Galactica and Buck Rogers and all these, and of course Flash Gordon in the films and in movies and comic strips and cartoons. That's my favorite stuff. That's my favorite. It not naturally goes without saying, Superman and Batman and the Fantastic Four and the Legion of Superheroes and heroes are my favorite thing when it comes to my enjoyment of entertainment and my geek stuff. I've read many a bleak novel that I loved or seen. There's some bleak movies that I love if they're really good and really challenging. But the things that always speak the most to me, that I enjoy the most, are usually your more upbeat stuff. That's why I'm Ben Grimm and you're Kirk Wagner. Indeed, hungry boy. Fair enough, buddy. I love the tragic heroes, but I still love the heroes because Ben Grimm is a great hero because he overcomes so much, But I love the optimism of Star Trek, of real Star Trek, all the Roddenberry Vision stuff, and even some of the Berman stuff later. The pessimism of Terry Nation's Blake 7 and some Doctor Who also, but Doctor Who's more optimistic though. The pessimism of Terry Nation's Orwellian Blake 7, in any other way wouldn't usually enthrall me, but I love it because I love the characters, the idealism of Blake clashing with the cynicism of Avon, the brilliance of these actors, the brilliance of these stories, make me love it in spite of it. Because there is a sense of hopelessness. People die on Blake 7. They're not all that noble. My favorite character on the show has said lines like, "I never could stand heroes." Avon doesn't like heroes. I love heroes. But Blake 7's a pretty pessimistic show. And I adore it. I just love it so much. Because it has a way of not feeling pessimistic all the time. Because there is hope in the sense that Blake is not, he's fighting the good fight. He's idealistic. He's a fanatic. I guess I love it because it's the antithesis of Star Trek. We've got Star Trek needs to be itself, and Blake 7 needs to be itself, and I love them both. Two sides of the same coin. They're brilliant stories. They're with great characters. And again, Blake 7 would be nothing without that fantastic cast. But then neither would Star Trek. So that's just any show, any TV show. That's the same. You can say the same thing about. And so I fell in love with these characters, because they act a certain way because they lived in a different time than Kirk and crew. Yes, Avon. Now talk or scream, Travis. The choice is yours. Kara Avon just has said, wealth is the only reality. The only way to obtain wealth is to take it away from someone else. But Raj Blake told him before that, it says, no, not until power is back with the honest man. Have you ever met an honest man? And then, of all people, another cynic, Jenna comes in, maybe. And Jenna, this hardened, star pilot, starts to be inspired by Blake. Blake inspires people. I think Blake even inspired Avon. I mean, look. Hey, Mr. Angel, what's up? Great to see you, Chef. So, yes, Avon, yes, there's definitely more to him than just saying things like, I never could stand heroes. Max Redstone says, serious question. If I was going to walk around outside of Comic-Con with a 10-foot pole, what kind of sign should I have on that pole? Any suggestions, anybody? I'm not sure. I mean, I guess, I don't know, man. I'm not being silly. I can actually, I can see actually Comic-Con from my bedroom window, and oh, really? I'm probably going to go down. I didn't know you lived out there. I didn't know you lived there. Of course, why would I know where you live? Of course. Hey, Neurotonax, Amanda Bear, good to see you. Why would I know where you live, Max? I thought you were somewhere up in the Midwest or up mid-north somewhere. But, well, hey, I'd say go for it. Go find Gary. Isn't Gary going to? I know Gary and those guys are going to Comic-Con. I don't know if they're going to the con itself or just going to hang around out there, but at least I think so. I don't know. Gonna go down for a bit and take photos with my cameras. Yeah, we'll go out there and look for Gary when you go out there. Say hi to him for me if you see him. Norax Amanda Bear, you said you've never heard of Blake 7. Really? Never heard of it? I mean, I guess it's somewhat obscure. Those ships, yeah, but the series was, of course, from 1978 to 1982. It ran 4 seasons on the BBC. BBC 2, actually, I believe. And I've always wondered how I've always laughed that they sort of use the Star Trek Delta shield as on its side for the Federation, their Federation. They even use the word Federation for the evil military dictatorship that's ruining the galaxy. So I guess we're lucky that this show will never, probably not, won't. I don't think they're going to ever remake it. They're not an X member says Blake 7 sounds like some kind of a Mandela effect to me. I'm not sure what you mean. You mean like it really doesn't exist and we imagined it? That might be true. Blake and Avon needed a different type of energy. Blake needed the loyalty of the followers. Avon needed the consensus of whomever he was around. That is why in Cygnus Alpha, he didn't ditch Blake. He was smart. But if they remake it, it's going to be all hell to pay. If they try to remake Blake 7, I'm going to take a hostage. I swear. You probably can't. Well, hostage was the name of an episode, everybody, so don't. Yeah. Yep. It's funny how he didn't need people, but he actually did even laughed that he needed them in Horizon. And yet, in Terminal, that great speech before he leaves to teleport down the Terminal, says, just one last thing. I don't need any of you. I needed the Liberator to bring me this far, so I had no choice but to bring you along. But this is as far as you go. I don't want you with me. I don't want you following me. Understand this. Anyone who does follow me, I'll kill them. I wonder if I'll get with trouble with YouTube quoting something like that. They think I'm talking out of context about killing somebody. YouTube, just talking about a TV show. Maximum power. Hello there, Matthew Pounder. I stand chastised, Dave G. Sound. You're quite correct. Don't take the risk. Neurotic Amanda Bear. One of the things that happens to Blake 7 is because it had on a very, very, very low budget, the sets and everything. It's still well loved by its fans, and even some people who don't let that sort of thing bother them can watch it now and become hooked on it. Our good buddy J-Man just watched it recently. Because that kind of stuff doesn't bother him, but some people who don't like those kinds of production values and effects that were very, very, it was government access programming at the time, won't let themselves get captivated by it because of the visuals and the production values, but the characters and the stories are just brilliant. I just love this show so much. Who knows? If you ever get a chance, it's on BritBox. It takes a while to unfold. Yes, well, that's a good point there, J-Man. From the point of view of the time. Rough Girl TV, hello there, lovely lady. Thank you for popping in. It's good to see you. Phantom Outsider says, Clobby, you are incorrect. It will be remade. Bite your tongue. Hey, Dave, go get him. Fanny's not supposed to be saying that. But only after Mark D with a C invents the time machine and we can reunite the original cast and writers, get more episodes. I just wish we could alter the past and get a 5th season. Your Muslim uncle. Yes, your Blake 7 is on BritBox. Let me take a look at our poll, see how we're doing so far. Got to refresh here. And like I say, look, the round table is going to happen. But it's going to be a lot tougher to set that up. I don't know how. That's going to be a tough thing to manage when you only get 10 spots on StreamYards. And I got so many friends that have become Blake 7 fans just in the past year. And then other fans that are already here that have been friends with for a while, that have been fans for years. Okay, let me see up in here. We have 26 votes already. Let's see how we're doing. Are you a Blake 7 fan is the question. 54% says yes, love it. 8% said it's okay. 0 said couldn't get into it. That's what I like to hear. But we have 38% never watched it. That's a fair call. So, yeah, I guess there are people who've tried to watch it and could not get into it or whatever. Well, D-Bud, look, that's what I said. I don't care about the sets and the effects anyway. Yes, the writing is brilliant. The characters, the actors are brilliant. And you know what? You can even have a laugh and look at that because at that old time and go, yeah, they look, there's a look to it that you can kind of laugh at in a fun way, but it's still brilliant. These characters are so great. I mean, the character of Avon is just amazing. And there's Matt quoting Blake 7 at me. He could quote it with me. Did they beg, Shrinka? Did they plead? No, Shrinka. Please, Shrinka. Can you remember how they get me started? I can read the whole line. My friend, you're all quoting episodes. That's a great episode. You can guarantee that's gonna be high up. But yes, anyway, that's a week from tonight, I'm going to count down all rank and rate in a countdown fashion all 52 episodes of Blake's 7, the BBC British masterpiece science fiction show. And I promise I'll do it inside of 2 hours. I can get it. You know, like I said, I'll make all business, and I'll just sit there with me and just be doing it. So. John Byron's of the even with the Rob Reiner vibe and Callie being one to come to his rescue is just Callie changed. I mean, that's something when we get a chance to talk about it, Max. Callie's character did change, and it got kind of strange that way. Her character did strange a little bit, but he was also Brian's was also in trial. Really good actor. A lot of great actors on that show, though. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Darius Munchausen, what's up, buddy? I'll just leave that picture up there because I like seeing it. Again, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to doing this. It'll be a week from tonight. If I can get it together in time. No, not if. I'm going to do it. I was just going to just go ahead and read the list, but I wanted to do something special. I thought about doing it as a video, but it'll be a video after I stream it. And I'll try to do it quickly. That's right. Send it to back hall. So, and what I will do is while I'm doing it is obviously. You can boo and hiss me all you want when you say. I hope if those of you who are fans of the show to the fanatical level that I am will go, how can you have that episode so low? What? But remember, there are only like a handful of the ones at the very bottom, which we're counting down worst to first, if that's a phrase that applies here. There's only a handful of episodes that I really dislike or have a lot of problems with. And like I said, the scale's 1 to 7 because it's called Blake 7. But I won't spend a lot of time on each of them because we're going to be in a hurry. I'll show the episode card and I'll talk a little bit about it, then we'll move on. Now, when we get into the top 10 or 15 or whatever, it's going to be tough to not say too much about them because I love them so much. I'm looking at the list right now, and oh man, this again for those who don't know, there are 52 episodes. When we get from about, I want to say something like 30 or 30-ish on down, maybe we're in some great stuff. I mean, 1 to 7, and I'll just to give you, but my ranking out of 7 is a 5.5. So 20, just the top 20. In fact, that goes back to let's see here. So my top 26 are 5.5 or better. Just so you'll know. On a scale from 1 to 7. I hear you, Phantom Outsider, brother. And so, yeah, it's going to be, needless to say, again, and it really, again, and when you think about that scale, anything over a 3, anything from a 4 is a pretty damn good episode. Hell, three and a half is a good episode. A 3 is a good episode. So a 3, but a 3.5, and that's like at let's see, just from 40 on up, or 40 on, 40 on up to number 1 is 3 and well, actually 40. There you go, 42. All right, 42 on up to number 1 is a 3 or better. That's how much I love this show. Now, each season, of course, what's that? Oh, had 13 episodes. Three phases of Blake 7, 4-star 1, Avon, and the Scorpio. You know what? And not spoiling anyone who hasn't seen it, but yes, they're not a Max Amanda Bear. That's 52 episodes. They had 13 episodes a season, and they're all like 50 minutes plus, like a little over 50 minutes, all of them. So it's a lot of episode you get. But yes, I love Scorpio. Who didn't like Scorpio? There are people who don't like the whole 4th season. Fans of the show. I love the 4th season. I mean, it's a clunker one or two, but I love the 4th season. I'm not trying to be a jerk. I mean, usually when people say I'm not trying to be a jerk, when they start their sentence with that, Max, they're trying to be a jerk. But I'm going to read it anyway. Not trying to be a jerk, but however, my scoring system has 7 parts, most of which are on a scale from 0 to 2. The lowest score is 7. The highest score is 17. Well, that sounds complicated to me, buddy, but I would definitely entertain looking at it. I'll do things my own way. And like I say, we probably don't have the same exact episodes. I bet a lot of, I won't be no EFAC there, Hungry Boy. I bet a lot of what's in your top 10 and my top 10, even if the placement's different, we probably love a lot of the same episodes. Because I'm already well aware that you know the show on a level with me. And I don't brag about anything. I joke around and kid because first of all, I have a crappy old memory. There are only a few things I joke, but there are only a few things I'm very confident about that I will take anybody on and knowledge about something when it comes to geek stuff. Other than kidding around, I know comics, but so does Phantom, and so does Hungry Boy, and so does a lot of you out there. No one knows. I don't know it any better than any of you guys. And in fact, with my crappy memory, and Phantom really knows the stuff. So, but I can converse on any subject with comics. But big deal. That's not brain surgery. And there are even other stuff that I don't know. For example, do I know Star Wars as well as most people? No, but I really like Star Wars a lot. With Trek, I think I can hang with almost anybody. With Blake 7, I don't know, but Trek, you got to remember, there are millions and millions and millions of people, more people who know Star Trek than know Blake 7. And I mean by the gajillions. It's not even close. Blake 7 is niche compared to Star Trek in terms of popularity. That's not an insult. I think it's a show on a level with Star Trek, but I'm talking about popularity. So there are people who know Star Trek so much it's impossible. I mean, but I think I can handle myself in any conversation with them, even though they probably know so much more. It's ridiculous. Blake 7, there's probably someone who knows more about it than me, but I think I can hang with anybody. And again, that's the only show I'll be arrogant about. That and The Prisoner. Star Trek, like I say, I'm not arrogant about it. I think I know it pretty well, but there are people out there that are so insanely knowledgeable about Star Trek. I couldn't even hang with them because they know all the minutia. I'm good with just the episodes and stuff. More than I, 3 out of 5 are the most important aspects of comics. No, I thank you, Hungry Boy, but dude, you've been there. You know the business and stuff. I'm a big fan of comic book history, but I read a lot from. I constantly read comics history and stuff, and I can tell you when I read some of these things from some of these comics historians that I read regularly, I go, wow, I'm not in the class with that guy. I don't know what that guy knows. I mean, and I'm always impressed with it. I mean, I can. Don't get me wrong. I could have a conversation with him, Dave Bob. But some of these comic book historians, I mean, it's just extraordinary, but I try to know. Good to see you there. And yeah, Blake, what I was basically, for those who arrived late, Blake 7 is a classic Dave Bob, and I'm going a week from this, I'm gonna take it upon myself and be arrogant and rate the episodes. Retro Blessing, what's up, buddy? He says, I'll only be arrogant about my knowledge of one show, Night Calls on the Playboy channel. Otherwise, I'm happy to admit I don't know everything. Retro Blasting, by the way, is there still a Playboy channel? Isn't that channel that when you would turn it to the top of your cable box, it would be all wiggly and stuff? Just wondering. Good to see you there, buddy. Read the Prisoner and B7 Clobberin is Indiana Jones' dad, seriously. Knows the archaeology of the shows. It's pathetic how much I know Blade 7, but yeah. But seriously, did they have this pay-per-view? They still have one. It's a classic series now, like Blade 7. The Playboy channel. Believe me, it's nothing to brag about knowing geek stuff, but it is. But you can't help with other geeks. You just love to talk about it, you know. So I'm just trying to. I have to have something to fall back on because I'm not. I don't know. I'm not gonna say that Orville's been ruined for me, but I'm not that confident about tonight. In fact, you guys need to remind me, if you would, because 5 weeks ago, if you told me that we would be at a point with the Orville, but I forgot it was going to be on tonight because I was so disenchanted with it, I wouldn't have believed you. Now, and look, I don't know. That's why I just got to go to other things like Blake 7. Now, don't get me wrong. Whatever happens tonight is outside of it being ridiculously political. We'll review it again tomorrow night if Raquel wants to review it. Why do I have heartburn? Can anyone tell me? The hell can I have heartburn at a time like this? I don't know. So, anyway, let me take. I take that off there, but I like looking at it, so I'm leaving it on. Well, except when I put this up. Yeah. This is going to be fun. I've been having so much fun doing the classic comics review. So I'm looking forward to that. Dave Bob, is that it? Because I'm old? That is true. Yes, Retro, I do need some Pepto. I just took a Tums thingy. I don't know if that'll help. But see, that's why I love having guys like Phantom Outsider and D-Bud and Dave Bob here. I don't have to be the oldest guy around. I can be younger than somebody. No offense, guys, but, it's not many people that I'm older than anymore. In geek circles, mind you. Dave Bob, are you looking forward to it tonight? I mean, have you lost kind of? I was so looking forward to this thing as the season opened. And I love the first episode. Well, Darius, I am in Cajun country, but I did not eat any Cajun food tonight. Or today. I had some chicken tenders that I heated up. They're really crappy ones. I guess that's what it was. Thank you for the $2 super chat from the great Eric K. Bronze Winter. Thanks, buddy. Clobby, the Orville is on tomorrow night. Welcome. You can't fool me. Actually, you can, to be honest. I mean, it's pretty easy to fool me. I can't lie. I can't really make this. Hey, I wish I had jambalaya tonight. When my mom makes jambalaya, I'm there. Clobby went too. But jambalaya never gives me. I never get heartburn anymore. You know what? Jambalaya doesn't give me heartburn. Oh, a couple of nights ago, I had a little bit of really meatloaf, but that does it. No, my mom makes me. I don't know. I don't get things. Don't usually give me any. I don't know about the gluten there, Darius. Again, things don't usually give me heartburn that much. I rarely get it. 5 times had chicken cutlet. No, I had crappy Tyson frozen shitey chicken tenders that I shouldn't have freaking eaten is what I had. But I don't usually get, and that's all I had all day. I just don't usually get a heartburn. How can you have a heartburn when you have no heart? Or to quote Avon, when Travis said, I thought you were supposed to be the one with brains. Brains, but no heart. Now talk or scream, Travis. The choice is yours. Thanks, Retro. Let's see. Not sweating, even though it's hot. Left arm is not in pain at the moment. It's been in pain a little bit recently, but not quite the kind of pain you're talking about. But thanks. I've had pain in it at some points here or there, but no sweating. No. Although you think I would be with this heat. You know, it's funny. I keep seeing a lot of friends from way up north even posting about the heat. 70s, what's up, brother? Cam Loops. Like a lovely lady friend of mine up in Montana, for example, and a couple of other ones really posting about how horrible and hot it is. This big heat wave going on everywhere. Going, you know what? If there's a planetary heat wave going on in Louisiana, we won't know it. We won't feel it. Ezra Goldstein, welcome. So we won't even feel it. It'll just feel like Thursday. Yeah, J-Man says it's hot. Dude, you guys get heat like for 2 weeks out of the year, man. Up way, way up there, which I'm envious of, by the way. So this is Louisiana. We get summer not at 12 months. Well, 10 months a year we get summer, pretty much. Yes, that 70s just showed up. I got that up there because a week from tonight I will be ranking all of the Blake Sevens, all 52 episodes from worst to first. And as I was saying earlier, the Blake Seven roundtable that I've been promising will happen, but it looks like I'm going to have to do it at night because can't do really a global geek gang anymore like we used to because the world's kind of everybody's back to work in the daytime, and we'll have to inconvenience some of our British friends. Though Max Redstone for $10. Oh, you're too kind, Max. Thank you, buddy. You didn't have to do that. Says, he's giving me a great Avon quote from the episode Duel. I have never understood why it should be necessary to become irrational in order to prove that you care, or indeed why it should be necessary to prove it at all. To which Villa said, was that an insult or did I miss something? And Callie said, you missed something. Thank you, Max. You were too kind, buddy. And not only thank you for that kind donation, but I'm always loving me an Avon quote. True story. Back in the late 80s, after I became completely just obsessed with Blake Seven, I took 2 VHSs. You know, I used to copy VHS to VHS. And I took all the episodes and I clipped all the best Avon scenes. All the best, and I called, and it was like almost like 5 hours because I put just the Avon bits, my greatest hits, even though I was watching the episodes over and over again. I called the tape Avon, the Man, the Myth, the Bastard. And I'd sit around my comic shop. Sorry, Eric, I didn't mean to mention that, a comic shop. I apologize. And I would play it all day long, so I'm just on a loop while I was working. Another guy older than me, Dave Bob. Where? Oh, yeah, 70s is old. Yeah. So I don't know if 70s is older than me, though. I mean, if he was, wouldn't he be 60s? I'm just kidding. We all know he's that 70s rock fan. So I don't even know what the hell I'm talking about. Sometimes demons, here we go. Sometimes demons escape from hell, but one of the portals open in Louisiana. There is a hell mouth here. People don't realize that. The heat and the humidity hit them, and they go back down. Another opens here in Jersey. They get mugged here. They don't. And they didn't finish it. Jamin says Paul Darrow's book was great. The audiobook is read by Darrow. I have the first one. I had the first audiobook, Lucifer. Is that one you're talking about? You know, he also wrote a book in the 90s, which was sort of it was an Avon origin story called Avon, A Terrible Aspect. But because it was him, naturally I had to have it. I still have the hardcover. It was an okay book. if you're a fan of the character, of course, it tells the story of his. Yeah, not again. It's one of those things. Some characters don't really need a backstory. Can I just say that? I mean, when we really love a character, it's easy to get suckered into that. You want to read how they got started and all that stuff. I'm as guilty as anybody. I bought that book, couldn't wait to read it. But when I read it, autobiography? Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about this book, Lucifer. I have not heard the autobiography yet. I got to get that, J-Man. Damn, thank you. Damn it, I love Paul Darrow. I have the Lucifer books, but just because he wrote them. I mean, I got to admit I had some problems with it. That's exactly right, Dave D-Bud. It's not the heat, it's the Galram humidity. But look, we get into these characters, and I don't know. Sometimes I don't think we need to know. I think less. Did we really need to know Darth Vader's origins? Maybe if George Lucas had wrote a book, I don't know. We all know how that turned out, whether you like those or not. But to some, it did cheapen the character and didn't do him any favors. Problem being, what's up, buddy? Probby. This probably what you're seeing here is a week from tonight. I'll be rating. I will be here all by me lonesome. I will rank and rate all 52 episodes of Blake 7 next week. But I'm also talking about how I will be the round table will be sometime in the middle or mid-August. And it may have to be at night. I don't know, because I don't know how many people can make it to in the daytime, but we'll figure it out. Kenneth Lee adored Paul Darrow and cares so much she created the character Parl Dro, a highly successful lead character in a series of books. I did not know that, Hungry Boy. Thank you. Wow. So, you're definitely look. You're on the invite list there, Probby. But I'm just saying, I like that book he did. Again, Avon, a terrible aspect. But I don't know if we ever really needed to know Avon's origins that bad. But people have a tendency to want to take a character that you start out seeing their adventures when they're an adult, and people like to go back. I mean, look, the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles was a pretty good show. But when it first came out, I didn't watch it. I was like, I don't really want to see that. A buddy of mine later made me watch a bunch of them. He was a fan of it because he was a lot younger than me. He was a kid when it came on. He liked it. And I watched it with him. It was cool. I mean, there was some good stuff in it, but is that what I really want out of Indiana Jones so much? I mean, it was all right. Again, I thought they were well done, and there were some fun episodes. Some of the episodes had Doctor Who actors on them, Colin Baker, John Pertwee, and a bunch of some Monty Python people. They were well done. It was a lot of fun. I'm not that, and I like some of the old band segment that Idiot Lucas took out. But Young Indiana Jones Chronicles is not really, it didn't really thrill me or didn't excite me back when it came on. I was like, I watched the first one and then tuned out. Then later again, like I said, my friend got me to watch it and it was okay. Good show, well done, but I just never needed Indiana Jones. He's three movies for me. And obviously it's cool to have some comics and books and things like that. But I could take or leave going back to his childhood. J-Man said Temple was the origin. Good night, Probby. Thanks for being here, man. Go get some rest there. It's always a pleasure to see you, my friend. Thank you so much. Their Max Mandelberg said, I remember Young Indiana Jones. I was into it, but growing up back then, I didn't get a lot of screen time. Said, okay, yeah. Well, like I said, I'm nothing against the show. Rachel Blessing says Indiana Jones was squandered by Lucasfilm, both by Lucas and now by Disney. Absolutely. Well, so was Star Wars. We should have got, instead of waiting 16 years to do the prequels, you should have got at least 3 or 4 other movies. 3 more movies minimum. 3 more movies. And I would have been happy with the original crew. Then you can do whatever you want. But no, we had to know, again, goes to my point. We had to know Darth Vader's origin for some reason. Even if you like the prequels, do we really need? Did we need that? Did we need the prequels? Even, I mean, do we? And so sometimes it's just like those Peter Jackson Hobbit movies. I couldn't get into them. J-Man said, I didn't know Star Wars had prequels. Well, I guess it's debatable, buddy. I like those Peter Jackson films. I don't know why we needed his version of The Hobbit. Exactly right. Knowing what you already know, no matter how it's boring, super boring, no matter what you're talking about. And there's the thing. Remember back when look, I loved Harv Bennett. Harv Bennett talked about for a while going back and doing Starfleet Academy movies with and they even did a book. They later actually did a novel. But for a while there, Star Trek, this was in the 90s even, they were talking about doing a, Kirk and Spock at the Academy crap. Well, we know, in spite of what Jar Jar Abrams' jackass dickhead said, they weren't at the friggin' Academy together. But Harv Bennett talked about that. And this is back then when there was, I guess, at least some sense. A lot of us were like, no, we didn't have any internet to bitch about it that much or whatever. But I was like, I remember talking about things like, hell no, I don't want to see Kirk at the Academy. Just leave him alone. Don't do any more Kirk if you have to do that. I don't want to see Kid Kirk. Now, by the way, it was a little bit different in the 40s when Jerry Siegel created Superboy. I'm a big Superboy fan. I love him. But mainly, most of his adventures in Smallville, growing up later when you see him, even though we get Crypto, they're not as great because, he has to grow up to be Superboy. However, you take that, you have him, when he was going to the 30th century to team up with the Legion, that's my favorite version of Superboy because, Saturn Girl created a thing in his mind that he wouldn't remember the trip. He wouldn't remember what happened in the 30th century when he went there, every time he would go back. And that's my favorite, and that's why I love Superboy. I mean, I like those comics with him as well, but my favorite, of course, is when he was with the Legion of Superheroes. That's my Superboy. But generally, I don't really need the kid version of a character that much. That doesn't mean I don't love the new Teen Titans, for example, because they're different. They're not kid versions. Electroelastic says Star Trek should always be looking forward, including its own mythology. Going backwards is not compelling, and that's absolutely right. As a matter of fact, again, multiple things can be true at the same time. I can think something is not a good idea and still like it. For example, I do love Star Trek Enterprise with all of its flaws. But if you ask me, and yet on the same sentence, I'll come on the next sentence, I'll say they shouldn't have made it. And you go, well, if you like it so much, how can you say they shouldn't make it? Because it really was not a good idea. If it had been like maybe a short, like a standalone, TV movie or something might have been fine. But when you go back 30 years later, something that's supposed to take place 100 years before Kirk, it's a problem. And it did contradict things, but hey, that's not Trek contradicted itself all the time, even way before Enterprise came out. So that's not too big of a deal. And they ended up deciding, I watched it anyway, and I really loved that crew, and I really loved that show. They had good stories. Some were repetitive, some weren't. But they had some very nice concepts to it. Nevertheless, as much as I love that show, I still think it would have been a better idea just to move forward in the timeline they had going and not be a prequel. Prequel's just not a prequel guy. Even if, for example, if you do a prequel to something and I watch it and admit it's really good, I'm still going to say, okay, that's good because you did a good job on it. But I'm still not all that sanguine about that existing in the first place. Yes, I saw Young Indy growing up. This history was interesting, but it didn't feel like Indiana. No, it didn't feel like Indiana Jones at all. And it was more good for like a historical drama than being an Indiana Jones show. And at least they did have John Pertwee on an episode, and Colin Baker, and Paul Freeman, I think. Yeah. But for the most part, prequels are a problem. Again, as I said, in fairness, something can be done well, and you can still go, yeah, but that wasn't really the best idea to do that, because it does put you in a trick box. You're like, you know the universe can't blow up because 100 years later there's stuff going on. Yep, even year one Batman. Yeah, Batman year one. We see proper Batman in prime. Yeah, Batman year one by Frank Miller had a lot of problems. Look, it was good. But he screwed with stuff that pissed me off. I really do like Batman year one, but it has a lot of problems. Retro Blessing says, imagine a prequel telling the story of Jor-El trying to figure out what's happening to Krypton. Yawn. It can only be in one way. And I know you're being facetious because they've tried it. Ezra Goldstein says, which Blake? No, John Pertwee was not on a Blake 7 episode, Ezra. He was on an episode of Young Indiana Jones. I believe it was called something of the Flight of the Hawkmen or something like that. Or something of the Hawkmen. No, Pertwee wasn't on a Blake 7. Apollo meets Minion. Hey, what's up, love? And hello, Pupper. All right, let's see if let's see if the what's going on with the poll. Got to refresh first here. Takes a second. And but yes, I just don't like. I don't know. Every time I hear about a prequel, I just yawn. Yes, I know a prequel to fill in the blank. I mean, you can't go beyond something like as Michael mentioned earlier. Star Trek is always supposed to be about going forward, but prequels are not only about going backwards. So are remakes. Remakes and reboots are about going backwards. Okay, 37 votes in to for the question. Are you a Blake 7 fan? At 54% says yes, love it. Oh man, my heart. Thank you guys. At 5%, it's okay. 3% couldn't get into it. We were at 0 earlier, so some people's and that's fair enough. And 38% still hanging at never watched it. Okay, well, so there you go. Nothing's for everybody, but I'm glad we got a big chunk of folks who are fans who love it. And this is the one thing we don't have to worry about ever getting touched. I don't even know what happened before Debbie did Dallas. So what you're saying is you don't need to see the negotiation scene. You just not. I don't even know there was one. I don't even know what the hell I'm talking about. Yeah. Oh, you killing me, dude. I love it. Thank you, Michael. It's good to see you, bro. And so yeah, anyway. So I appreciate everyone voting on that. I'll probably close that up in a little bit, but maybe the question should be, are you excited for the Orville tonight? Have you been watching it? There you go. Yeah, Comic Relief Crusader answered what she did before Dallas. It was Houston. Somebody had to be a wise guy. Narat says, I can't participate in the poll. It glitches out and won't let me vote for whatever the fourth option is. That's strange. Anyone else having that problem? It doesn't let me vote at all because I made the poll. Unless I'm not doing it right. Retro says, haven't watched the Orville since the second episode. Instead, I've been listening to Clobberin Time's reviews of the episodes. Michael, I'm almost embarrassed because I was the guy screaming to the loudest how happy I was to have this show back. J-Man. Okay. Yeah, my excitement's gone to be seeing you, buddy. Thank you for being the great J-Man. Please, of course, subscribe to his amazing channel. He's a good friend. And as always, I hope you're having a great week, whatever you're doing. I don't know if you're out on vacation or what you're up to, buddy, but thank you, Eric K, for the $2 super chat. It's just a reminder the Orville is going to be on. Thank you. You didn't have to do it that way, but yeah. I before the show started tonight, I forgot. I had not thought about it. But like I said, around week 1 or 2, man, for months I was looking for 3.5 years. I couldn't wait. And after that first episode, I was pretty excited. And in the second episode, it was okay. I had some issues with it, but I wasn't unhappy. Third one, I wasn't disgruntled or anything. I thought it was kind of all right. There were some things that more Raquel savaged it a bit, but I thought it was all right. And that fourth episode just, oh man, 4 and 5 really angered me and got me in a lot of trouble, and I don't care. I appreciate that. Retro Blasting says it's totally okay to be happy and excited as long as you're the person that's also honest in your disappointments, which is the guy you are. That's me. I got to be honest about something, man. I hear you. Ezra Goldstein, yeah, well, my good buddy Doomcock, he does like it, and we've talked about it. And every place I've been on other channels where I've given my opinions on it, it's gotten me some score in there, but I don't care. Whatever. I have no problem with people who disagree. And my buddy Doomcock likes it. That's fine. I mean, I think, hey, some people just, I don't know, don't see it the same way. But as I've said, and I said this at the outset, I can't stress it enough. My problems with the as Raquel calls it, the didacticism, as she likes to call it, or the agenda-driven stuff, the hyper-politicization of the show from episode 4 and 5. Notwithstanding, I put up with that stuff from entertainment all of my life, and still, I've seen things that have messages that I totally disagree with, including some Marvel episodes in the first 2 seasons, that I still love the show. This ruined those episodes for me. And then the other episodes, the 2 episodes since then, I just haven't liked much. I just don't think they're very good. Hey, the great Andy Masterson is here. What's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. Always a pleasure to have you here. You need to come hang out with me on one of these nights, bud. So, yeah, it's never the opinions that the episode is pushing. It's that if it's an agenda. In other words, and I consider that to be 2 different things. An opinion and an agenda. A philosophy and an agenda are 2 different things. Well, cool, Andy. Absolutely cool, man. Well, I'd love to have you on, because for those who don't know, man, the figures that this gentleman makes are spectacular. I know he's been on Sunday Night Geekery with us a couple times. Hey, buddy, Steady, what's up? Steve Mitchell, what's up, bro? Working late, brother, huh? Good to see you, man. Thank you, Retro Blasting, buddy. Michael, I appreciate that. And that's the thing. All opinions are welcome. And but the thing that a lot of people don't understand is, this is the last thing I wanted. To look, everyone thinks I like to bitch about stuff. Secret about me? Not a secret. I do like to bitch about stuff. If I don't like it, if I legitimately hate it and have a problem with it, you better believe I'll make a good time out of trashing it. And yeah, gleefully. But still, coming from a standpoint, I would rather like it. In other words, I would rather that not be the case. I would rather not be in a position to have to trash it. I would rather be excited and love it because it's more fun to talk. Look, we criticize things here. But again, Monday night, we're going to be reviewing a comic book that we love, Mark D and I, with the big Clobby's Classics. Clobby's Classic Comics Review. All year, we've been reviewing different comics that we love, and I've been having a blast. I get a different guest. Mark and I have done some. Nick and I have done it. Loki is going to do one with me soon. Loki and I have been reviewing DC animated films that we love. There's still a few left to go on that. J-Man and I have reviewed a couple. J-Man and I will be reviewing one in a couple of weeks, Batman 321. J-Man and I have, and my good friend Ace. Who else? Max Von Presley. A lot of my friends and I, Zachariah, good to see you, buddy. We've been reviewing comics that we love. So I mostly focus on stuff that I love around here. And I love the Orville. I mean, look, if you told me that you're not going to think the season of the Orville's that good, you're going to find it you're going to critically, you're not going to like it as much this year. You're going to be disappointed. I'd believe you. Because, look, I can take an episode of something that I don't like. I can take being disappointed. I've had to live with that. As a geek, I've had everything I love as a geek destroyed at one point or another. You think I can't take this? I can. So if you told me, yeah, you're just not going to like the stories, they're not going to be as good as before, you're going to be disappointed, you'll have critical problems with them, I'd go, oh, that's a bummer, but, I can live with it. But I'd still be excited because, hopefully they would fix it and make more. Now I don't care if the show survives or not. After just a few episodes. Look, and if tonight's episode is great, I will be very happy. I'll be ecstatic. And I'm going to be fair to it. Just as long as you all know I'm being fair to this show. Because it was only episodes 4 and 5 that my objection was about agenda. 6 and 7 have been about story. And again, I liked some parts of the 6th episode. I didn't really like much of the 7th episode, but all of my criticisms were artistic in nature, all of them. Now, I can't say the same for Raquel. Some of hers were as well, but she had other things to do. But for the most part, hers were also artistic. But we're in the minority. People are all really loving this. Fans are all really happy and loving it, and that is, hey, good for them. Thank you, Hungry Boy. I appreciate that. He says Clobby glories in the things he adores 95% of the time. He gripes only 5% of the time. The Wesley Troy crap just makes the ratio skewed. Yeah. Oh, look. I'm a bitcher. For those of you who don't know me down here, and the way I've been in fandoms down here, this part of the world, I guess because I've worked in a lot of comic shops and been to a lot of cons and I know a lot of people, it's always the same. I'll use the word Clobby than my real name, even though you all know it anyway. It's basically Clobby hates everything. You hate everything. You hate everything. I've talked about this before all the time. Hate it all. You hate it all. I said, man, geez. And like I said, I wish I freaking hated everything. Wouldn't have so much clutter all over the place. But, I mean, of course, but it's no fun to hate everything either. Yeah, but see, Narat, I'm telling you, it's not that it's that bad. Well, I hear you, Narat. But you might like it, man. Like I say, if you're a fan of, I hear you, Narat. Like I said, not everybody likes the same things. Like I said, Doomcock's liking it. He's fine as far as Orville, and that's cool. People, look, don't listen to me. Make up your own mind. But I mean, and it's myself and Raquel. Mark's had some issues as well. Mr. Tickle Truck, what's up, buddy? Thank you about that. Yeah, I just hate everything that deserve it. But the like I said, and I think I made this pretty much made this comparison the other night when I was talking, and I've done this many times. I say, and I'm not saying it's just me. I guess it's anybody. I don't know why I'm singling myself out. I'm sure you all, any of you who deal in opinions, have the same problems. All you have to do to make an enemy is to have a critical opinion. That's all you have to do. If you say, gee, I have no enemies, I need some, go start a YouTube channel, stream it, and then say you don't like something. Boom, you're in. You've done it. If you do it well, the more. Now, obviously, you have to do it. If the better you are at it, of course, the more enemies you will make. But if you just want, but it really doesn't take much. You could be not all that good at it, and you'll still get an enemy. You could be nice about it, you'll still get an enemy. In fact, there are people who are very nice about it. A lot of people who express their opinions about things that they're critical of do it in the nicest, most polite fashion possible, and still people are horrible to them because they're idiots who can't take opposing opinions. They're freaking morons. As Retro Blessing says, he's got his monthly death threat last week from his opinions, because his opinions are so radical. And again, for those of you who've not, and please do go to Retro Blasting if you've not subscribed. If you've seen his videos, you know everything is even keel, analytical, friendly. He doesn't say, if you like this, you're a piece of garbage. He doesn't say, In fact, he goes out of his way to say, this is my opinion, and he backs it up, everything he says. Doesn't matter. It's never belligerent. He's not like me. He doesn't even yell like I do. Or Doomcock does. The man's even keel. He's very factual. He's also very talented. I'm not just saying it. Yeah, I'm prejudiced. He's my friend, of course, for a long time. But if I'd never met him before and I saw his videos, I'd be impressed. They're impressive, great videos. But the point is, even if I disagreed with him on stuff, I'd go, that's a well-made video and it's a well-thought-out argument. And obviously, plenty of people just disagree in a very agreeable fashion and have a conversation with him. But you get nuts out there that can't understand. And there you go. Thank you, Eric K, for putting the retro blasting link in there. It's also in my description below. And but he doesn't even do anything controversial. He just gives his opinion. But it's all, just like I said, it would be one thing if he was out there insulting people and calling people's names and being vitriolic. He doesn't even do that, and he still gets to hate like that. And that's the same here. Of course, I don't have. The only reason I don't get as much is because I have a nothing channel. It's a small channel, which is perfectly fine. I'm just saying it's smaller, so obviously the bigger you get, the more you're going to get from idiots. And of course, depends on what genre you're dealing with. That's a pretty crazy genre he's dealing with right there. I did not know that, but I've learned that. Toys are apparently, I don't know. But yes, you want to make an enemy, criticize something in the nicest way possible. It doesn't matter. You don't have to do it. You don't have to be a dick about it. You just do it in a nice way and say, look, this is my opinion on this, and this is what I thought of it. And if you like it, fine, but here's what I think. But it doesn't matter. There'll be some jackass that takes offense at it. Because that's the ridiculous world we live in. How do you say it? Tolfer? I hope I'm saying that correctly. Tolfer, how you doing there? Welcome. Good to see you, my friend. Thank you for being here. Chris Persia says, Clobby, you don't have to say anything negative. Just say that forensic anthropology is necessary in determining the sex of a skeleton, and watch how quick the loons will rush out to attack. I'm probably going to get in trouble with the YouTube algorithm for that one. I didn't even think about it through when I read that one. I wouldn't be surprised if I get demonetized for that. And thanks a lot, Chris. I'm teasing, Chris. But hey, YouTube's pretty insane, so who knows? I should put the disclaimer. Hey, everyone, I'm not a forensic pathologist or whatever the hell. Retro says, look, if you like Gungans, that's totally fine. It's okay for grown adults to keep buying Happy Meals. Whatever, dudes. Misa like Gundams. Gee. Don't you? God, I miss the days of Jar Jar Abrams was the most cringy. Well, not Abrams, sorry, Jar Jar Binks. Jar Jar Abrams is the worst. See, Jar Jar Abrams. Now he's Jar Jar Abrams before he's Jar Jar Binks. I miss the days when Jar Jar Binks was the worst thing about Star Wars. Don't you? Just saying. Larry, the only reason I might respectfully disagree with you when you say we need a way to get people to watch Blake 7 easily, it is on BritBox, but I'm not sure we don't want, not that they would get into it anyway, but if you said, here's a magic wand, you could get 20 million people into being a fan of Blake 7, and they'll watch it, and they'll see it for what it is, and they won't care about the production values and stuff, and it'll be popular. I would turn it down. I would say I don't want it to be popular. I don't want Blake 7 to be popular because look what happens to everything that's popular. Thank God it's a niche. Look, because it's never going to be. There have been some threats of it being remade, but no, it's not Doctor Who. It's not Star Wars, Star Trek, Lord of the Rings. They've all been destroyed. Comics. This one they tried a number of years ago. They tried a stupid ass. I think it was Big Finish that did an idiotic remake of it, and they could go buy. I know Caldor City's different. That's Chris Boucher doing something, but they did a shit ass remake of it, and they can go screw themselves. Clover Dives, Johnny. That's some weird, John. That's some weird, wild stuff. What do you think, Ed? You are correct, sir. With apologies to Steve Mitchum, he hates my Johnny Carson. which is, you shouldn't be hating on Johnny Carson, but, he just hates my Johnny Carson. All right, Max Redstone, have a good night, buddy. Thanks for popping in here, buddy. Hope join me next week. Watch next week, and then after I do my my countdown of the 52 episodes and the ranking of Blake 7, I'm going to get your list the previous night week or whatever, and I'll let you. We'll get you on at some point, and we'll let you go now. You can critique my list, and we'll get your list at some point, dude. We'll get it out there. I want the world to know it as well. Mark Seth, welcome. Good to see you, sir. Good to see you there, sir. Oh, dear. My goodness. What's on tonight, folks? Isn't there a TV show on that I'm forgetting about? The first time I heard Jar Jar, I was in a theater downtown Oakland, and I was like, as this dude lost his mind with the Stephen Fedget sounding character, a lot of black people, it took a pause. It was criticized even back then. Topher says, is Blake 7 a made-up thing for this stream? Topher, no. Blake 7 is a science fiction TV series that aired on the BBC from 1978 to 1982, lasting 52 episodes. The super chat from Eric says, Clobby the Orville, do not forget. Now I was going to try. Now I can't forget because you keep reminding me, dude. I got the countdown up there just so I'll remember. I did not think I would need to be reminded, by the way, when I was so excited before. There's the bot. Damn it. I thought we could get away with no bots tonight. Yeah, that's true, Chris. Strangled Nude Worms is over. Dave G. Sound, I love Power Play. Dude, that's a great episode. Power Play is a very, and I mean very high-rated episode for me. You can watch like the trilogy of Star One, Aftermath, and Power Play. I often do that. I can't just watch one of the. I like to once in a while just throw in that trilogy, if you know what I mean. Great episode, dude. What was it? A favorite line in that episode when Avon hands the gun to Dana? Anybody who comes through that door, kill them. Then he stops for a second and smiles. Anybody that isn't me, that is. Yeah. The great Michael Sheard was in that episode. Michael Sheard, who has played, and that guy has been on Doctor Who 4 times, Blake 7. I think he was on a couple of Avengers episodes. Indiana Jones in the Last Crusade, and of course, The Empire Strikes Back. He's been in more stuff than Julian Glover, or just as much. Let's see. Doctor Who episodes he was in. I can't remember. I think he might have been on a Heart. No, I can't remember, but I know he was on. Michael Sheard was on. He was in Pyramids of Mars, Castrovalva. Remembrance of the Daleks. I got you, Topher. Yes, I hear you. You can find it on BritBox. I don't know if it'd be to your liking, but you might want to give it a shot. It's a great show. And of course, again, like I said, he was on Blake 7 episode Power Play. I think he was on an Avengers episode too. I can't. Obviously, a lot of stuff. He was on, obviously, in The Empire Strikes Back until he got strangled, Admiral Ozzel. And then, of course, we all know he was Mustache Man, leader of the Yahtzees in The Last Crusade. And who knows what else. That's right. Thank you, Ezra. He was in The Mind of Evil. Thank you. Damn me for forgetting that one. I love that's a great episode, by the way. It makes me want to go back and watch Pertwee. Oh, my goodness. Makes me want to go back and just watch. Again, I don't have I'm waiting. I've been waiting to get the Blu-ray sets. Over here, and I know my good buddy Michael Renterblast, he gets those, the British versions of the Blu-ray sets, I think. I keep waiting for them to go down in price. I have a few of the ones early on, but they're so damn expensive. And last week, I haven't got the first season of Sylvester McCoy yet. I'm waiting for it to go down. Because sometimes you go, like I said, sometimes they'll go way down. They'll have a sale. And I'm a big McCoy fan. I know a lot of people aren't, but I love Sylvester McCoy. His first season Blu-ray set, a buddy of mine texted me last week sometime, and he shows me, said, hey, look, on Amazon, $25. I'm like, holy shito. But I was like a jackass. I waited about 15, 20 minutes because I was doing something. And when I go on, boom, it's already popped back up to 40 something. And I can't really afford the 25er, but I was gonna spring for it. And they did that. I said, nah, screw them. And the Tom Baker sets, at first, the Tom Baker and even the Davison sets, the first couple, I only got the first of each. There was a time with there was some kind of sale on them. I caught them relatively cheap. Oh, and then Minimus gave me the first Pertwee set as a present. But I know there are a lot of other, I don't know how many seasons are on Blu-ray right now are out, but there are like 3 or 4 of them I don't have. And I'd love to get them, but they're just at stupid prices right now. And I thought because of the way I was able to catch some of the other ones on sale, I would wait, and eventually, who knows? I'll try to catch them because those Blu-ray sets are fantastic. It's just, why are they doing them in this order, which is no order? Mark Lurcez says, did you ever, he's asking Chris Persia though, but did you ever notice some of the loose parallels between Blake 7 and Farscape? I could see some of those as well. Yeah, one of the best Avon Burns, Villa. Who'll be stubborn enough sooner to justify stupid? Yeah. Pressure Point. That's from Pressure Point. Great episode. So, what is the logic between the way they're putting these Doctor Who seasons out? It's just because is it because of the special features they're trying to do so much and getting them all together? It affects the order maybe because they do a lot of great special features. They're great. They're great sets. I love them. There's no order. Everything is. It's just random. Yeah, someone had all Blake 7 episodes on YouTube for a while. That's true, Larry. But they decided to put them on, and at least they put them on American BritBox. At first, they weren't even on American BritBox. They were just on the BritBox over there in the UK. But now, at least they're here. Logic. Do you really believe there is logic left at the BBC? No, sir. I don't. I do not. Foolish of me even to use the term. My goodness. But anyway, what can you do? Let's just hope that I don't know. I hope the prices go down on those suckers. And they'll probably never do a Blake 7 Blu-ray. Because I would have to have that no matter what. I mean, if it's possible anyway. And that would be freaking expensive. I remember I bought a Region 2 player years and years and years ago just so I could have the Blake 7 sets. Because, by the way, Blake 7 has never been released legally in the States on DVD. I have all the VHSs from the 90s. They put every one of them on VHS. I still have those. But they've never done a legal set on DVD here in the States. The Joykoffs. And they came out with a fine set many, many years ago. Clobby, did you hear W? Ezra, did you have a... Maybe you can finish that one. All right, Comic Relief Crusader, take it easy, buddy. Have a good night. Yeah, well, D-Bud, they didn't say Blake 7 U.S. release. It could be. But you got to get Region 2. And I bought sets of Region 2 years and years ago, but then later, after that, they came out with a new set that were cleaned up. They were really nice sets, a really nice set of all of it. I mean, I can't remember what year it was, but a buddy of mine, again, let's just say he ripped copies for me to leave it nebulous a little bit. And so I have it on physical in that fashion. And of course, it's on BrickBox, and I have those. What happened was, though, I bought that player and it worked for a while. And then it kind of just crapped out on me. Now you can get a Region 2 player anyway. It's easier, but back then it wasn't. When I ordered, I don't know what, it just kind of didn't work very well. And yet I bought the sets, so. But it would be nice to have it Blu-ray here and, of course, over there. But they probably, and there's the thing, they don't think there's a market for over here. Pretty sure they don't. They would have done the DVD set back when they did the one for over there. For Region 2. Indeed, Hungry Boy, region limitations are suckage. Butthole surfers. Region free DVD player, $40 on Amazon. Well, it's a DVD player. Huh? You almost can't find a DVD or Blu-ray player at stores these days. You can't just run down to the store, to the Target or the Walmart or the Best Buy to get a player now these days. You got to order them. They really are going after physical media. All region players are worth it if you get other countries' Blu-rays and DVDs. Absolutely, Larry. Yep. I should get one, but I don't use it. I wouldn't use it much now anyway, because but I would use it for some stuff, I guess. Region free Blu-ray player, 137 buckles. Whoop. Yeah, Blu-ray, all regions cost over $100. Yeah, shite. Well, that suckles. Figures, though. What are you going to do? What you gonna do? All right. Let's see what's going on with that poll. Maybe I should just close the poll out. I'll leave it a little bit longer. I'm going to reset that. Refresh that so I can see if anybody else voted the poll. Since just over the past year, I've created 3 Blake 7 fans. So I added to the fandom. I believe it's 3, or maybe it's more. Okay, here we go. Now we have 44 votes. 44 votes at say yes, love it at 55%. 7% say it's okay. 2%, it went down from 3, couldn't get into it. And 36% never watched it. So that's pretty consistent. We've had some craziness with some of these polls I've been doing lately. Like, what was it Monday night? Oh, was it Monday night? Yeah, I did it was something about, are you a Marvel guy or a DC guy? Or are you a Marvel fan, DC fan, and both? Neither. And now I can't remember which one won. But all I know is Marvel. Oh, yeah, DC won. Marvel was in the lead the whole time. It was crushing DC. And then it was tied. And then, then all of a sudden, DC leapt out to a huge lead. And Marvel ended up with a tie with both. And neither didn't really, neither was on a few. Tolver is a Marvel zombie. Are you really? It's funny. You're probably old enough to remember what that had a different, when Marvel zombie had a different meaning. Ezra Goldstein said, so Clobby, there are no American DVD version of Blake 7. That is correct. Only VHSs from the 90s. See, they used to call in the 80s, they came up with this derogatory term for people who only read Marvel and they won't read any independent stuff or DC or whatever. Started calling them Marvel zombies. That was years before they had a comic book called Marvel Zombies. Then later, somebody thought, when the zombie craze got, it was before, like, I don't know if it was before, like, Walking Dead got big, comic or whatever, but, the Walking Dead comic was pretty big. Whatever it was, the Marvel started doing their Marvel Zombies comic, which I never could stand personally. Oh, is that true? Oh, D-Bud, is that it? I can't remember now. I was wrong? Okay. See, I should have wrote it down. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, D-Bud. He said it wound up a tie between Marvel and DC. And both won. Both was in first place. Topher says Jim Shooter is God. Well, he would agree with you. He'd be the first to agree with you. Shooter, he's an interesting cat. He was just at a con down here near us. I didn't get to go to it, but a buddy of mine did and hung out with him. It's love-hate with Shooter. Look, I don't... Boost McFadden, hey there. Good to see you. Muslim's uncle says, so Blake 7 is a prophecy rather. Mind tricks, discrediting people with fake sexual crimes, deep stuff. Well, yes, it is. Well, I see what you're saying. You're probably referring to the first episode the way back. Yes, basically, I should set up, got this thing here for people who have not seen it. 36% of people have never watched it. Blake 7 is basically, I always like to set it up this way for those who are not familiar. Star Trek is the dream. Blake 7 is the nightmare. Larry, I will address that in just a second. Thank you. Good question. Star Trek is what we would like to see happen in the future. Blake 7 is what we're probably looking at. Blake 7 is Orwellian. It's the antithesis of Star Trek. There's a big bustling galaxy full of aliens and stuff, but humans 1,000 years in the future haven't solved their problems one bit still. They're run by a caste system, by a class system, where the elites rule over the peasants with controlling, with a combination of a military dictatorship and using drugs and mind control and other things. Like I said, very Orwellian. And but obviously, because they're still humans. And by the way, the technology is not quite as advanced as it is in Star Trek, even though it's 1,000 years in the future. But Star Trek, the original series, is 300 years. And my hypothesis on that is, whether they've thought it through or not, my explanation for that is always the fact that Star Trek is a free and prosperous future because men and women and other sentient beings are allowed to be free. And that creates more growth. Technology is better because independent spirit and creative spirit is not stamped upon and not trampled. Therefore, it's more progressive and has had more progression. Whereas Blake 7 is totalitarian. It stifles creativity, ingenuity, and achievement for the most part. And when it does occur, it takes it and exploits it. It's like a gigantic. It's what I'm not. You can see I'm not a big fan of government. It is corporatism and government together, crushing, the little guy with a caste system. That's what Blake 7 is about. And you've got a guy like Blake who comes from a privileged background but doesn't like it, doesn't like what's happening, becomes a revolutionary. And you got a guy like Avon who's just so jaded and cynical by all the evil and crap going on. He doesn't want to participate in what the Federation does, but he just wants to go steal money from them and go live somewhere else. He just figured, what the hell? He doesn't trust people. He has no reason to. It's all very cynical, Blake 7 is. Yet, you have the altruism and the optimism of the revolutionary Blake. You have the cynicism of the criminal Avon, who just wants to steal. And they're thrown together on this extraordinarily powerful alien starship with a few handful of criminals on the way to a prison planet, but they break free of it. They get this spaceship, and it becomes under the control. There's a kind of a fight for power between Avon and Blake and Avon. But Blake is an idealist and a revolutionary and a fanatic who wants to destroy the Federation, not just for what they've done to him. He's always wanted to destroy them, And so your conflict comes from this. This guy gets this, he gets handed this gigantic, this incredible alien weapon that he can use against the Federation. And he doesn't have a lot of regard for anyone else's safety on the ship. He wants to destroy the Federation. Avon just wants to go get rich. But he knows it's safe. He's safer there than on a prison, rotting on a prison planet. So you have that conflict between these two strong characters and a bunch of other characters kind of caught in the middle. And Blake is such a great force of will that he's very manipulative. He's a great leader of men. And he decides to use the Liberator, as it is named by Jenna, this alien space vehicle that they have taken to destroy the Federation. And he's going to, and again, with this handful of talented but kind of downtrodden criminals, he's going to destroy it, even though it's a pretty big task, even for just one ship, no matter how powerful they are. It can take on 10, 20 Federation ships, but it's still a pretty big obstacle, and Avon thinks he's crazy. And so that's basically what your show is. And the show's great because of the inter-turmoil and drama between Blake and Avon, the other great characters, and their story about what they're doing. Pleasant Valley, what's up? Pleasant Valley says, sounds like Farscape took a lot of ideas from Blake 7. It did. So, well, and J. Michael Straczynski, who created Babylon 5, has admitted that one of his biggest inspiration for Babylon 5 was Blake 7. Now, Blake 7 doesn't have the soap opera elements that Babylon 5 does, which I love Babylon 5, by the way. But it's more of a bunch of standalone episodes with some continuity. But what's great about this show is the conflict between Blake and Avon. Oh, I love Farscape. So it's Star Trek, but like I said, it's not. Because, like, again, Star Trek's the dream, Blake 7's the nightmare. They're both brilliant, both wonderful. And sometimes you got to be realistic and look at the bad when you look at the good. However, it doesn't mean Blake 7 is always downbeat. It's not. I mean, they're fun. There are some fun episodes. These people, and I think that's what's brilliant about Terry Nation and Chris Boucher and Robert Holmes, these great writers. Robert Holmes, one of the great Doctor Who writers, also wrote some excellent Blake 7, as Chris Boucher was also a great Doctor Who writer. He wrote some great Blake 7. Terry Nation, of course, created the show, who wrote the first Daleks episode for Doctor who owns the Daleks, really. He wanted to tell a story about what it might be like. What it might be like if the future wasn't so bright that you had to wear shades. And of fighting a revolution, Star Wars had just come out right before that. Not that this is comparable to Star Wars. They had no budget for this show. I mean, zero budget. But it had the same budget as Doctor Who at the time, was done on some of the same sound stages. They used a lot of the same incidental music by Dudley Simpson that was on Doctor Who. They went to a lot of the same sand quarries and nuclear plants to film stuff. They filmed in a lot of the same places. And the sets can be wobbly. Sometimes they use it was so cheap they had to use cutout animation for the ships sometimes. They used models and worked a lot, but there were times they had to use cutout. But it was the stories and the characters that were captivating, that you really get into their stories. And they're all great. But the conflict between Blake and Avon is the greatest thing about it for me. Avon's my favorite character. He's like my second favorite all-time TV character, really. Blake's great. I love Blake. But, I mean, the show is Avon, for me in a lot of ways. Without Avon, it just doesn't happen. Unlike Kirk, Blake is a fanatic. And that's another thing great about his character. He's altruistic. Yes, he's a hero. Yes, he wants to help people. And he's always a do-gooder. He is a do-gooder, which Avon can't stand a do-gooder. But he's also not beyond manipulating the crew into doing stuff, and he takes risks with their lives to fight his own little war. But you can't really see it much because he's always being such a good guy. And yet, he's a hard ass, and he's a brilliant manipulator and strategist and leader. Avon is an electronics genius, but also he's a me first guy. I mean, he is definitely looks out for number one. But he also plays percentages, as Blake said. He realizes the Liberator is a very powerful ship. If you're going to be on the run for the Federation, that's a good place to be. And so he stays and bides his time, but he's always against all the crap Blake wants to do, which all Blake wants to do is destroy the Federation. He thinks because he's got a powerful alien spaceship that is certainly more than a match for 10 or 15 Federation ships, he thinks he can destroy it with that tool. And before he had that, though, years earlier, he tried to destroy it, and he got caught and brainwashed. But he got his mind back, and now he's using the Liberator. And he doesn't get pushback from any of the other characters, but he sure gets it from Avon. Because Avon lives. So, anyway, enough of that. Larry had a question earlier. Sorry, you get me going about Blake 7, and I have trouble stopping. I fully admit it. He said, please tell us the comics pros you've met over the years. I know I haven't met as many as Hungry Boy. Or D-Bud, probably. The two greatest geek experiences of my life, Larry, was meeting and spending time with the great king of comics, Jack Kirby, at two different times, and his wonderful wife, Roz. I've shaken hands with William Shatner, and he's a hero to me, but I didn't get to really spend any time with him. I did get to spend a little bit of time and talk to my other hero, Adam West, and that was fantastic. And I've met other ones, but Jack Kirby is the greatest, and that's the biggest one ever for me, and then nothing will ever top it. And I met some lovely, wonderful people other than them. I've met the great Gil Kane a couple of times. Big fan of his. I've met the great Julius Schwartz. Let's see here. Yeah, Chaykin. I knew you'd mention Chaykin, Hungry Boy. I met Chaykin. Hey, I not only met Chaykin, I kept from squashing him like a bug. I stopped myself from squashing him, from doing some clobbering on him. Just saying. I'm not bragging or anything, but he gave me probable cause, and I didn't do it. And that's true. Anyway. Let's see here. Other great ones. Of course, George Perez. I had a couple of run-ins with John Byrne. Won't go into that right here because, as much as I like John Byrne's art, I've always had a lot of problems with John Byrne in terms of some of the. Well, I hate what he did to Superman. I like his first couple of years on the FF, but I didn't like it later. Anyway, it's a long story. I literally like a lot of his work, but I have a lot of problems with him, and I think he's kind of an arse personally. I know, Hungry Boy. Julius Schwartz was fantastic. Let's see, who else? There's so many. Neil Adams, of course. So like I said, Perez. Man, there's so many. It's almost easy to name the ones that got away that I didn't get to meet. Let's see, who's somebody else? So many. I got to go to at one con. I met Jack Kirby, Joe Kubert, Harvey Kurtzman, Mobius, Will Eisner, Frank Miller, Dave Sim a couple of times, a few times, of course. No, I've seen Stanley at many cons. I'm someone who has a lot of issues with I have a lot of inner turmoil issues with what Stan, in my opinion, did to his co-creators, Larry. So I'm not the biggest Stan fan. So I kind of do subscribe to a tenet that says if you can't say anything nice, and I couldn't, in the way I've always been very critical of him, people, I just decided not to go up and meet him and everything. If I had my son at meet and greet, I thought Clobby took him out to dinner. Who else? Oh man. Man, there's so many. Because, like I said, I went to a lot of cons in the 80s and 90s. I met Shooter and all those Image guys at one point or another. Even Rob Leftfield, who was nice to me. You know what are you gonna do? I met Gary Groth, the fan of graphics, the Comics Journal. I was a big Comics Journal fan. A lot of people. Not Morbius, but I have met Mebius. Mobius. People used to call him Mebius for it's Mobius. Jean Giron. Met John Romita, and that was great. Didn't get to meet him for long, but I got to meet him. There's Nick Cardy, Murphy Anderson, Roy Thomas. Have I met anybody from Doctor Who? Yes, I have met Liz Sladen, the lovely, wonderful Elizabeth Sladen. Let's see, Colin Baker, Peter Davison a couple of times, Nicholas Courtney, John Nathan Turner, Sylvester McCoy, Sophie Aldred, John Levine. John Leeson. Affirmative, Master. I almost forgot his name. That ain't K9's name, Master. I almost forgot. Pat Broderick, yes, met him. Mike Grell. Did I meet anybody from Blake? Unfortunately, the only Blake 7 actor I ever got to meet was David Jackson, who played Gan. Michael Golden, yes, I met Golden. Two friends of mine, before I was able to get into Blake 7, met Michael Keating, Villa, and, of course, Paul Darrow, Avon, at a con in New Orleans in 1986 or 7, whenever I think it was. I met Jim. I met all the original crew Trek people except for Leonard Nimoy. The only one I didn't meet. I met Adam West and Burt Ward a couple of times. Well, Burt Ward once, Adam West a few times. But I always jokingly refer to him as my good buddy, close personal friend, Adam West. Ever meet Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster? I wish. I did spend a lot of time with Kirk Allen, the first actor to ever play Superman on screen in the Superman serials. In 1988 at SwampCon, I had a table. I had my shop at that point. And Kirk Allen, who played Superman in the Superman serials and also played Blackhawk, he was a great gentleman. It was really cool to meet one of the screen Supermans. He's the only screen Superman I was fortunate enough to meet, but that was really cool. Got his book. Very nice man. John Pertwee came to Baton Rouge once when I was not here. Oh, man. Culver says, still think this Blake thing is a gag. In other words, he thinks it's a joke that we're making it. Yes, we got to come clean, folks. We made up the show Blake 7. It never really existed. You got me. Boosh McFadden, what's up, dude? No, I never met Dick Ayers. I wish. Now, I can name you some names. Did you meet anybody from Star Wars? Yeah, you just the one most people met, like Anthony Daniels and Peter Mayhew and Kenny Baker, who was from down my way. Actually, he's from Mississippi. It's close. That's true. Kirk Allen in a cut scene. He was in Superman the movie. That's right. Let's see here. Met a bunch of celebrities from other stuff. Here's the comic book people that I didn't get to meet that I wish I had. I'll name some of them because there's still a bunch of other comic people I know I probably met that I can't remember. But here's some of the ones that got away. Oh, I met Chris Claremont, by the way. I didn't meet him, but I met Jim, sort of met Jim Steranko. But here's some of the ones I didn't meet that I would love to have met. Kurt Swan, Wallace Wood, John Buscema, Sal Buscema, Joe Sennett, Larry Lieber, who is actually one of the few still with us. Gardner Fox, I would love to have met Gardner Fox. Phantom, yes. Dick Sprang, I met Bernie Wrightson. Unfortunately, he's passed as well, but I've met Bernie Wrightson. The big ones, I really wish I had got him to meet Sennett. Dick Ayers also. Topher, yes, he says Kurt Swan made some serious comic. Yeah, I love Kurt Swan. Bill Finger, yeah, Bill Finger died when I was very young. It was like 1972, but it would have been nice to have met him. Yes, and if he had lived longer, he would have done cons. I met Carmen Infantino. I bought his book from him actually. I bought his Amazing World of Carmen Infantino that he signed for me. So I did meet Carmen. There you go. That's one. Who else? I met Rich Buckler Jr., but I never got to meet Rich Buckler. And that's weird because Rich Buckler was already gone at the time, I think. That would have been good. I met Marv Wolfman. Like I said, Perez. I don't think I ever got to meet Lynn Wein. I would love to have met Lynn Wein. I would love to have met Carrie Bates. I would love to have met. Oh man, I want to meet Paul Levitz. Bad. That's one of. He's still with us. I'd love to meet Paul Levitz. That's a Legion God to me. D-Bud said the only artist he mentioned, Colleen Dort. I met her. She was a sweetheart, if I remember right. If I'm thinking, no, maybe I didn't meet her. I think I saw her at a con, didn't talk to her. Yeah, Dick Sprang would have been amazing. Yeah, I know. It's a great name, Darius. That was his name. Larry says, Gary and Neurotic met. Thanks for the $2 super chat. Eric, thank you, buddy. I see it's coming on. We'll get out of here in a minute. I'm in no hurry now, but yeah. Thank you, buddy. Gary at Neurotic met Lynn Wein. Yeah, I've heard him talk about that. Yeah, Lynn Wein was a cool dude. Marv, Lynn, and Paul were fab people, says Hungry Boy. Yeah, I love him. Carrie Bates is still alive. I would like to meet him. Yeah, Flash. I want to ask him about Flash Facts. I would love to have met E. Nelson Bridwell. That guy knew everything. I'd love to have met C.C. Beck. I've only met some guy that said he penciled Steve Englehart's indie book. Says Topher. I'd like to meet Steve Englehart. Is he still with us? I can't remember. I never got to meet Steve Gerber. He's gone. I hate to sound that way. I think Englehart's still with us, though. I'm not sure. Sal Buscema is still with us. I'd love to meet Sal. That's true. Bates co-created Wildfire. That's right. Yes. Who didn't want to meet Irving Forbush? You know who I did want to meet was Flo Steinberg. Rawr. How about that? Fabulous Flo Steinberg. What Marvelite wouldn't want to meet her? Gene Colan I met. I met Bob Layton. He's a couple times. He's a cool dude. I met the Image guys. Look, I'm not a big fan of a lot of those Image guys, but I love what they were very good to Kirby in the early '90s. What they did some good stuff for him, so I appreciate that. I'd love to meet Dave Gibbons. Of course, my dream is to meet Alan Moore. No matter how crazy he's gone, he's one of my favorite writers. He won't come over here. He would, he's up on Mount Olympus somewhere, so I probably never get to meet Alan Moore. But Frank Miller was nice. Mark D with a C. I can't read the chat. No, Alex on the way. I mentioned, well, dude, good to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing well, bro. Oh, you met Marty Pasco. Okay. I never met Pasco. I don't think I ever met Pasco. Hungry? Yeah. I met Roger. I think I met Roger Stern. I think I met Stern. I think it was Stern. Yeah. Who else? Oh, yeah. Again, Kerry Wolfbreaker. What's up? Well, Wolfbreaker, good to see you, man. I'm glad you stopped by. I met Roy Thomas just for a second, but everybody was swarmed at his table, so I didn't get a chance to talk to him that much. Hungry Boy. D-Bud, but, I had a good friend of mine now, John Cimino, on my show a number of months back. He is the manager of Roy Thomas. I'm trying to get him I need to get back on him and say, look, dude, maybe I should get him. I'd love to get him on, but I'm not going to bug him. He's old. He's old for that. He's older, and, he's probably, but I've had John on, and I'd like to get John, John to get him close to a con, to get Roy to do a con down here again. So, I don't know. I'd love to meet Roy and actually get a chance to spend more time talking to him. But John, I know you're not hearing me right now, but you should be, dude. You should be listening, and you need to get on that, brother. No, I never got to meet Bill Matlow. Now he had an accident back in I want to say it was the early '90s or was it the late '80s that incapacitated him. He's still alive. I think he's still alive, but he's been in a bed ever since. He's been in really bad way. I did meet Gene Colan, Tolfer. I met Richard Corbin. I did not meet. I would love to have met Denny O'Neil. Oh man, that would have been. Oh my God, I love Denny O'Neil. I love that hippie. See, I love that crazy hippie, Denny O'Neil. I would love to meet Jose Luis Garcia Lopez. I dig Russ Leroy. Didn't get to meet him except for a hello in '88. Oh, I got you. Yeah. Like I said, met Bernie Wrightson. He was a nice guy. Really nice guy, Bernie Wrightson. Okay. I did a bit for Denny. Oh, wow. You worked with Denny O'Neil. Oh my God. I love that old hippie. He was a cool too. He was just, the guy was great. I never got to meet Marshall Rogers. He passed too soon. Tolfer, I love Marshall Rogers. I did meet Marv Wolfman, Ezra, yes. At Dragon Con one year. I've met Jeff Johns. I know that's not a thrill to most people, but I met him. Well, he did some good stuff. Who else? There's so many. Kerry Gamble's a nice feller. Shite. Like I said, I wish I'd have met John Buscema. Damn it! And I've never met Sal either. I'd love to meet Sal. I love Sal. Did I meet Mary Screen? No, I did not. I think Ramona Fredden is still alive. I'd like to meet her, just to meet her. All right, Chris Persia. Good night, buddy. Thank you. I have met Mark Evanier. And Mark Evanier is a really cool dude. Of course, he's one of the Kirby's greatest friends. So he can, and he really his blog when he's talking about stuff is he's really cool. He's a nice guy, and he loves Kirby. Of course, he was good friends with him. Greg Theakston, sadly, he passed. I've had Greg Theakston on my show many years ago. He's passed, unfortunately. I think I met Dave Stevens once, but that was too much of a line. I say met. I think I got to be in line. You know what? I don't think I got to meet him. I think I got to see him. It's fuzzy. Yes, I've met Chris Claremont. Yeah, Sal Buscema still around. Yeah. Did you ever meet any of the stars from the black and white video era? I don't know. Well, Kirk Allen again. Oh, look at that! Thank you, Cardinal Sim. What's up, buddy? He says one of my favorite YouTube channels, Clobberin Time, so knowledgeable and wise is the thing. Well, thank you for the $20 super chat, Cardinal Sim. You are too kind, my buddy. I don't know what to say. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Did I meet Jim Shooter? Yes. Yes, I did. And I loved and that was when he was doing Valiant, so I loved Valiant. I met Cat Ironwood too. Did I'll get out here in a second, but Hunger Boy, did I tell you about my run-in with Cat Ironwood? You are not gonna like it. I don't like it. Ezra, like I said, I got to sort of meet Roy, but I didn't get to talk to him. There were 100 people. Two of my friends wouldn't stop talking to him, so I didn't get to say. I got to just stand there. Okay, Cat Ironwood, that Dallas Fantasy Fair '85. I don't know how I got in a conversation with her, which is fine. I used to read stuff about her in Comics Journal and stuff, and we were talking, and I said I was late. We were being very polite, and back then I was a strapping young lad, so who knows? Maybe she liked me. I'm kidding. It was 1985. I was very young. I was man. Hey, I was quite the looker. Just kidding, guys. Anyway, So we're talking, and she's being very nice to me and all that kind of stuff. And I said something about we got to go. Yeah, we're about to go now. We're going to go now because we got the Gil Kane panel. She says, "Yeah, he's okay if you like nasal shots." And I looked at her, and Minimus was there with me. I didn't say anything, but when we were walking up, I wanted to say, "Nasal shots. You want a nasal shot? I'll give you a nasal shot, Alice. You're going to the moon. Bang, zoom." But I didn't do it. Siegel and Schuster, I wish I'd met them. They didn't do any cons, did they? I don't know if they did any cons. Ezra says, were you a fan of the Howard? Oh, yeah, Howard Duck comic? Yeah. Yep. I loved it. I can't remember the issue I started buying it on, but of course I went back and got most of them. Of course, I sold my copies a long time. I'd love to get those again. I guess they can't. I'd like to get a collect. I'm sure there's a collection of it, but I don't know. Is there an omnibus? I would get an omnibus if it wasn't like a bazillion bucks. But I love the original Howard the Duck run. I didn't like the magazine that much, and none of those later series. But I love Howard. So yeah. Have you seen Clobby's appearance on? Oh, that's right. Thank you, Debuff, for putting it up there. He says, have you seen Clobby's appearance on Cardinal Sin? By the way, please go to Cardinal Sin's channel and subscribe, everyone. And I was on there a couple weeks back with our great buddy, Canadian Spider-Man, talking about a couple of issues of Spider-Man that Cardinal had sent to him to read. There were some Bronze Age issues from 1976, and that was a lot of fun. Really enjoyed it. He is, of course, a spiffing host, is the great Cardinal Sin, and that was great. I really enjoyed that. He says, Hungry Boy says, I now suffer no guilt about my opinions on Ironwood. By the way, her nickname in the 90s was Iron Crotch. She was God. Wasn't she married to Dean Mulaney or something? The Eclipse guy? Oh, well. Well, I'm going to do some shout out. I'm going to do some show notes, and then we'll get out of here, folks, so everyone can go watch the Orgwill. If you want to. I guess I'm not even kidding. I'm afraid I might walk out of the room and forget the Orville's on. So show notes, my friends. Tomorrow night, of course, it'll be the Clubhouse. Same Clobby time, same Clobby channel. We will be my wonderful first officer, Raquel. Oh, there's a complete collection of Howard. Good. I'd love to get that. Oh, Dean, huh? Wow. Man, you know the inside names. I tell you what. No, don't get me started on Dean. Hungry Boy, I can only imagine. That was Kitchen Sink, wasn't it? Was it Kitchen Sink or was it Eclipse? It was Kitchen, or was it both? I thought it was Eclipse, but it might have been Kitchen Sink. I can't remember. Remember one day we'll have to talk about the black and white glut of the 80s. Hungry? Remember that? Anyway. I will miss the Clubhouse this weekend, says Eric K. Sorry about that, bro. Eclipse. Okay, Eclipse. I knew it was one of them. I don't know. What was I thinking? Kitchen Sink. Never mind. Sorry about that, Eric, but good to see you tonight, buddy. Thank you for being here. So the Clubhouse tomorrow night, my friends. Same Clobby time, same Clobby channel. Raquel and the great tomorrow D with a C. And then Saturday night Star Trek, the debut of Star Trek Deep Space Nine. We will begin our journey of reviewing the entire series, all 7 seasons, however many episodes there are, in our continuing mission to review all of Star Trek, all 735 segments of Real Trek 66 through 05. 4 episodes this week, starting with the pilot, The Emissary, and then 4 others, Past Prologue, A Man Alone, and Babel. And then Monday night, the great Mark D with a C joins me for a Clobby's Classics comic review. We will be reviewing the mid-80s or late 80s Marvel graphic novel, The Big Change, starring, of course, The Incredible Hulk and The Thing by Jim Starlin and Bernie Wrightson. I just have a blast doing these review shows. I love them. And then Wednesday night, it won't be a wild card. It will be a special topic, a special presentation, a Clobberin Clobby countdown. All 52 episodes of the British science fiction classic TV series, Blake 7, ranked and rated by yours truly, Clobby, in the Clobberin Clobby fashion. And in a week from Monday night, we'll have the great J-Man will join me to review Batman number 321. Dreadful Birthday, Dear Jokers, the name of the story. Of course, by the late, great Lynn Wein, Walt Simonson, and Dick Giordano. So those are some of the things coming up to you on Clobberin Terms. And I'm just going to say a big collective shout out to all of you who were here tonight with me, because it would take forever to name you all. And I know you got better things to do than hanging out around me. But I cannot thank you enough, my friends, for being here with me tonight. Because all I did was shoot my stupid mouth off by myself about nothing in particular. And you guys hung out with me. It was like hanging out for real. You're all real friends. You're all fantastic friends. I can never express enough what it means to me. And thank you. Or anyone who just lurked or just sees anyone seeing this later on the download, thank you. And thank you all for the questions and the talking and stuff and the reminders. It's been just what a great night. I had a lot of fun talking to you, and you're the best. You're all great friends. Tool for the clubhouse is Clobby's Clubhouse is something where my wonderful friends Mark D and Raquel join me, and we just basically we'll review the Orville or different because of that, but we also talk Star Trek and comics and all these different things. Just kind of us hanging out, just a kind of a general hangout with the three of us on Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Central. And so, everyone, thank you to those who wrenched. Thank you for the super chats, everyone, my good friends. Thank you for the great retro blasting for making an appearance, buddy. I always appreciate you. Thank you so much. Can't wait to talk again soon, brother, and all of you. Just hey, have a wonderful rest of your evening. See you back hopefully tomorrow night, and have a great. Oh, I forgot to see. I take too long on stuff. Please enjoy these important messages, and then we'll get out of here. Clobberin, clobberers, and clobberettes.
I protest. I am not a merry man.